The 30th of March 2025. This is rural Ireland. It's about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The sun is just there. It's very bright. It's the most beautiful spring type day you could possibly imagine. You see a wind turbine over here. That's not on my land. I fought that every way I can and will yet force them to take down them through the courts. They are a Ponzi scheme and a scam, and they damage the peace and serenity of this property here where I was born and reared. This video is directed towards the people of Greenland. And it is a very unusual thing that President Donald Trump and J.D. Vance actually want to make Greenland the 51st state of the United States. What a novel idea. He's like a bull in a china shop. And the thing about Trump is, he is a bit cracked in ways, he's a wee bit mad, but there's no evil in Trump. Trump is on the side of good. He's on the side of life and good. He has his faults. He could do with me as his right-hand man. Now, would you believe it? This has been taken seriously. Greenland was ruled by Denmark and is still ruled by Denmark. It has no army, and it's very like Iceland, where I was and visited it. The murder rate in Iceland, sorry for saying Ireland because it's like Iceland, is very low. Papa in Iceland means Irish people. Irish monks went over with the Vikings, and they went over themselves, and they were good. They brought whiskey, which was not that good, and I'm afraid to say they tended to fraternise with the ladies. The result is that 38% of people of Iceland now I'm talking about, have Irish blood or DNA. If you checked my DNA, because I'm Irish, and their DNA, 36% of them would have similar DNA to mine. So they call us Papa because we were fathers. Our people, they were fathers. I don't know, they must have been able to pray. You see, they didn't pray all the time. They prayed some of the time. But then other times, in Glendalough lived an old saint, a man of great learning and piety, but his good manners he wouldn't taint, not by mixing with female society. He was fond of reading a book. When he could get one to his wishes, he was fond of casting his hook in among his young fishes. One day he landed a great big trout, sir, when Kathleen from over the way came to see what the monk was about, sir. Get out of me way, says the monk. Can't you see I'm a man of great piety? And me good manners I wouldn't taint by mixing with female society. But Kathleen, she wouldn't give in. And when he got home to his rockery, he found she was seated therein, and she was polishing up his old crockery. The only murder committed, I was in Iceland about 10 years ago, it must be 15 years ago, and it's well worth a visit. It was in November, and it was in the Blue Lagoon, and friends of mine were over there. And it's Iceland, there's volcanoes in it, and there's a divide where the American and the European shelf splits because of the tectonic plates movement. And after I left, about a year after I left, there was a murder, and the murder was carried out by Greenland rascals. So I'm afraid to say, while I can't tar all Greenland people with the one brush, they are not that good. They're not good news around the place, some of them. But you can't say they're all like that. And if there's anyone here from Greenland, please post underneath. Definitely a Greenland man committed murder in Iceland. And there's a person in their grave in Iceland. It is only about 250,000 of a population because of that fella. Anyway, we can't change that. And I'm sure there are good people in Greenland. And Greenland was occupied by the Vikings, and they tried to farm there. And they had to quit farming in 1250 because it got too cold because of climate change. Climate change. And the temperature fell until about 1850. It fell to 1740 when 1 million people died of the famine in Ireland because of it. And then by 1850 it picked up again, and we're now going through that slight increase in temperature. These windmills are supposed to fix the temperature. They can change the weather in 100 years' time, according to our government in Ireland. So anyway, now that President Trump has his eye on Greenland, what do I recommend you to do? Well, one of the big obstacles to Greenland joining the United States is that Rosie O'Donnell is gone. She's in Dublin. She moved to Dublin. So that's one big plus. She's not there anymore. But the danger is she could go back again. But I don't think many will listen to her anyway. The other thing is that 45% of the people who vote in America are Democrats, and they are woke. But still, there's about 55% who are not. So I don't think you'll ever see the woke crowd again. Also, the Biden administration had all the criminals from South America in there. Trump is sending them home. I saw there a video the other day in El Salvador where there's plane loads of criminals that escaped out of prisons in El Salvador being sent back. And the first thing happens to them is their heads are shaved. They're members of criminal gangs who fled to America. So there's work on that being done. America's going to boom eventually with the change in the manufacturing, the Trump's tariffs. He's going to put tariffs on Ireland, and we'll be hungry here in Ireland. I don't care. Anything, only have the wokes here. In Ireland, we have a teacher in prison, Enoch Burke, for refusing to call a boy they. He wanted to call the boy him, and they jail him up. That's what happens in Ireland. So that won't be happening in America. Now, one of the big things you're going to have if you join the United States, you're going to have McDonald's. Is it Wendy's? And you have KFC's. Now, I'll tell you, it's a big change and a big improvement on eating fish every day. I mean, we understand you eat nothing, only fish. It's fish. It's fish for breakfast, fish for tea, and fish for evening, fish for morning, fish for supper. So a bit of McDonald's with beef will be no harm, and I can supply you with beef here from Ireland. They might even buy some Irish beef. Now, I have a cat here. She's coming down to partake in the show. Don't worry about that. It's a lovely day here. Absolutely beautiful here. So now, McDonald's, you'll be getting McDonald's. And do not agree to join the United States unless you have a guarantee of a McDonald's franchise in Greenland. And you'd nearly want, I don't know what spacing, you'd want a few of them. You'd want one every 20 miles. You need a KFC every 20 miles. And I think Wendy's Kitchen, you call it, not bad either. Right? So make sure that that's a condition, a constitutional condition, for at least 20 years anyway. It'd be a terrible thing to give away your sovereignty from Denmark to America and then find you have no McDonald's. Now, there had been rigging elections, but I'd say that the elections won't be rigged this time. They have that kind of sorted with Elon Musk. And my cat Dewish agrees. She was up on the tree, so we put her back. Hello, say hello to the Greenlanders. Up there you go. Up there. So anyway, that's the story. I think, don't just give in. Don't just say, oh, we'll join. Oh no, don't do that. Now, there's another thing you need if you're joining the United States. You need the same constitutional provision as the Amish community and the Mennonites have. In the United States, religious minorities such as the Amish were allowed to come over in the 18th century, get good land and live there. And live their rather unique life where they don't have to join the military. They're never drafted. They don't have to attend school after, I think it's first grade. And once they get to be about 12, they can leave school and they educate their own. So have a look at the Amish. If you're doing negotiations, go over to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania and see them there. America was the only country that would allow the freedom of the Amish and Mennonite and those other High Dutch or High German religions, and they're still there. So that's a good thing. There's a freedom burning desire in most Americans. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party turned away from that and went to communism and North Korean type stuff, regulations and rules. So I think, provided now, remember again, you must have McDonald's, at least 2 outlets, guaranteed for 20 years. You must have KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders recipe, for at least 25 years. And not force you with the other franchises, right? Now, I don't know what the alcohol situation. My advice is I wouldn't force alcohol into any community. And there must be a cast iron agreement that no illegal drugs will be allowed in. You don't want your children doped up on drugs. You'll have the same rights as every American citizen. And I'd insist on the right to elect, to have a state that you can have a say in the presidential elections. I wouldn't have it like Puerto Rico. You'll be a full state. You will vote for whoever's the candidate, and whoever wins the most votes carries Greenland as a state. That's the best I can say. You have to remember, Trump has only 3.5 years left. It looks like J.D. Vance will get in. I don't think the gun regulations, you will be allowed firearms there. They're very restricted in Europe, but I think that it'll not be a problem. I'd say you're allowed a rifle and a shotgun in Greenland. I'd imagine you are, and that will probably continue. You need to look at that. There'll be educational facilities. I'd make sure too that bright Greenland children that want a full education or a university education will have the opportunity to go to it. And you should be able to send 2 senators to the House Senate. That'll be 52 senators in the United States Senate. I wouldn't sell myself short. I'd go the full hog along with the way I'm saying. And after that, all I can say is I wish you the very best of luck. McDonald's, KFC, Wendy's Kitchen, whatever you call it, Pizza Hut. You want a Pizza Hut as well? Right? All those non-alcoholic things. You want the right of the Greenland people to be treated the same as the Amish community in America. In other words, you don't have to serve in a war, but if you want to, you can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. You want the facilities for education of bright children. And sure, there might come a little bit of money out that'll help you along and improve your roads and improve your buildings and all of that type of thing. There will be law and order. If you kill somebody, you'll go to jail for a long time, and that's only proper. That's, I think, the way it should go. And a little bit of development funds and all of that in it. I don't know, will you need to station American troops there? I'd say there is. I think there'll be a problem with the Russians. The Russians are going to say, why are you taking over Greenland? That we should have a right to those resources. Well, draw a line somewhere between Greenland and the Arctic. Give a look at it. There's a very good weather station, Cap Norris Jessup, the only true reliable temperature station there is in the North Pole. Everywhere else is rigged. It's not, and it shows there's no real climate change. There's a slight warming over the last 60 years, very, very slight. The ice caps will not melt. So if anyone thinks you're going to get rid of all the ice on Greenland and dig underneath for all the goodies, it'll not. That won't happen. And if anything, it'll get slightly colder. That's my advice to the people of Greenland this 30th of March 2025, and we are struggling here with our migration problem. Our country is being taken away from us. 40% of our people are not from here at all. Some of them are genuine. We're not against genuine people coming here to live and love our country, but there's a concerted effort by the European Union and the Irish government and the World Economic Forum to destroy Western society, and we're getting away with it only for the bold Donald Trump and J.D. Vance rode into town. They almost killed him twice. The bullet went that close. That's how vicious these people are. But there's still a lot of good in the United States, and there's a wee bit of good in Europe. Whether we'll ever see it manifest itself again, I don't know. Bye to all of you in Greenland, and comment underneath if you're from Greenland and say whereabouts in Greenland, and it'd be lovely to hear from somebody from Greenland. Good luck. Bye. Thank you very much.